Hey guys, this is X-Man Vaughn here with how to make a buckler shield. Now in this video today I'm just going to be running through the general aspects of the shield and how to replicate it. Obviously this is not a tutorial since the product or buckler is already finished, but I'm just going to be running you guys through how to make this shield, if not better, or if you follow my instructions to the exact pinpointed area, you will have exactly this buckler shield. Now, I would like to be showing you guys the shield just a little bit, so I'm going to move up my table and show you guys this shield. I'm actually pretty proud of. Me and my grandfather made it just before the Renaissance Fair. It took us a good few months, but that's because I wasn't over all the time. I'll just show you guys the inside of it. Pretty proud of that right there because it took some time to get it to fit. If you guys actually look, it's actually custom fitted, so if you guys do this correctly, it will always fit your arm. Alright, so I'll be running you guys through the materials. Most likely I'm going to put them in the description of what you're going to need, how much the general area of cost is going to be, and how to fit it to your arm. And overall, just how to get these exact materials off of pretty much scrap leather and 1/4-inch plywood. So today the first thing I'm just going to be running you through of how to do it exactly, only it's not a visual. So please just listen carefully, pause the video, go back if you need to. Alright, so me and my grandfather made this shield. It took us a good 2 months-ish, a little bit more than that, because I wasn't always over, like I said. So what you're going to want to do is, you're going to want it to get a really big, it really doesn't matter, so long as it's big enough for the diameter of whatever you're going for here. And the reason that I don't tell you guys what the diameter is because we really just went off of what looked good for how big I was and how heavy you wanted it, and if you want it to look like a buckler or just a shield. Anyway, you're going to want a really good big piece of plywood, of course, obviously bigger than the shield itself, way bigger actually, so you have a lot to work with. So what you're going to want to do is, what we did, we tried to concave it, meaning we tried to make it a little bit round. So we put cinder block on it, or some, I forget what we put something round under it. And then we put a bunch of cinder blocks around it, and bricks and whatever we could, wet it down, and we left it there for about a good week. And we came back and it was concaved, but then we started working on it. The next morning, because I slept over there, we walked out and it was no longer concaved. So I really hope that you guys have better luck with concaving. Just get it wet and then try to round in it with whatever you can. But it didn't work for us. We might have not have done it right. We really just we wung it. I mean, I tried to look up stuff on the internet. That's actually why I'm making this video. I highly doubt this is going to be that popular, but anybody who is willing to do this, I'm trying to make this as articulate as possible, down to detail. If your concave most likely isn't successful, what we did was we started sanding a big area of the huge plywood cutout that you should have. And remember, you're going to want 1/4 inch because we decided that anything thicker was going to be too heavy, and anything thinner than 1/4 inch, all your nails that are holding in the leather are going to come through the other side of your shield. So you guys always got to remember how everything's going to work with your shield. You can't just say, oh man, I want it nice and thick. I mean, I had to do a lot of compromise when it came to the shield, and by the time it was over, I realized that it was better than what I figured it would be. So you guys are going to sand it out with a belt sander is what we used, and a few sanding. There was quite a bit of us working on it, and we took the belt sander and kept going over it, and we made a good general area of the circle. If you can't notice all the lines in the wood, all that nice dye kind of falling through. And getting to that, we actually painted it with some wood finish, and then we put overcoat over it, and we did a good 4 layers of each, if not 5 to 6, whatever works for you guys, until our wood looked really nice like this, okay? I'm sort of skimming through that part because it's more general. I mean, if you know what you're doing with wood, it's not going to be all that hard to get this same kind of look, to get it nice and dark. So you guys want to go over to Home Depot and get whatever you guys want it to look like. Now I'm getting on to, I'm going to get into the leather because this is a more detailed thing, but less at the same time because we actually had it before we even started up the shield project. My grandpa lives up there on 115. Anyway, it's all about, leather obviously isn't cheap is what I'm trying to say. So if you guys are willing to get a good nice sheet of leather, and just cut out your designs. You're going to want to do a lot of measurements because if you mess up your measurement on your leather, then you're going to have to scrap it and then redo it, which isn't cheap. But we actually didn't mess up. It only took us one try of each of these. So it's up to you with design-wise, but I really suggest that whole edging circle thing. And then we put the leather, and then we nailed it in with tacks. I'll get to the tacks in a second. And then we did it again, and then we did it with a design of double tacks. Now, I'm actually going to get to this part before I get to the tacks. Like I said with the leather, I'm just going to end that part right now. It's how you guys cut it out. Actually, one more thing about the leather is that our leather obviously doesn't look like that at the beginning, that nice color. So what we did was we got a bunch of overcoat, and we did 6 layers of overcoat, and it'll shrink it and make it a little bit darker and a lot more hardy. And once we had that, and then we put it on the shield, so it's not really going to shrink necessarily, but it's definitely going to look a little bit thinner and more tough, and a little bit higher in height and thickness of it. Alright, so sorry guys, getting to the center part of it, we went to Home Depot, and this, believe it or not, is just wood. The center of it is just wood. I actually was telling him how I wanted a circular like hubcap, but it didn't look like a hubcap. We couldn't find one, and it turns out this does work actually really good. Is you get something, we went over to Michael's actually, and we bought this circular shape. It was just wood, and you just get that with wood. You find it, and then we even in Michael's actually you still find it. You go out and buy some silver, the same general color, and spray paint, and then you spray that several times, and I believe that you do another overcoat to make it stay a few times. Pretty much everything about the shield's overcoat. I mean, when we were done with the shield, before we put on all the hide and stuff, overcoat the entire thing. Okay, now getting to the nails. We went over to Home Depot. My grandpa actually had them before the project, so we really had everything before the project was even thought of. But you could pick up these weird, authentic looking Renaissance nails or tacks at Home Depot. I really can't help you out with that, guys, because depending on where you live, if your Home Depot carries them. So just nail them in any kind of strategic place, make sure the leather's staying in place. Alright, now, getting to the interior, which is actually very impressive and took, not the longest, but it took the most thought and work to get it to fit and to get it to be comfortable. Now, none of this hide actually used to be here. I believe this is wolf pelt, yeah. And I'm just going to get a strap real quick because that's a little bit more simple. This is a belt that we found that he never used, so we just cut it to make it a strap. And so we just tacked the bejesus out of it, and it's very durable. I mean, I wear it on my back in the house. I mean, it's so comfortable because what we did was on the inside of it, on the lining of it, is we cut out wolf pelt and glued it, super glued it in there. And I've had no problems with durability with this thing. I mean, it ain't going anywhere. And the great thing about using tacks is it's the easiest repair you can ever have. I mean, you buy another box of tacks for extras in case one of them bends, which you're going to have a lot when you're setting in the tacks, no matter what, you can repair it at any time. It requires a hammer and a tack, and you just put it back. And I didn't even have to do that. Okay, now running through how this works. I'm sure you guys are waiting for me to get to that. So what you do is we just put leather, sprayed it with overcoat, just like the edges, and then it started to shrink, and it got really, really hardy, so it's very durable. I mean, I can actually shield bash with this stuff. So you're going to want to cut it out into a good shape, long enough for your diameter of your shield, and you just cut it out here, and then you're going to want to tack it in all the strategic places. Like I said, guys, this is really one of those kind of videos. It depends on how you guys do it. Getting over to this side, it's the same thing. You just make it to the shape of your arm, of how tight you want it on your forearm. And then this right here, all we used for this grip is a dowel. It's just a circular dowel. You guys are going to want to find that at Home Depot. Cut it out to what you guys want, and you guys are really done. You put on the hide however you'd like to make it comfortable, because it wasn't when we first made it, and we made it comfortable. We just used wolf hide, put it wherever you want. It's warm, it's comfortable, and this isn't all that expensive. We spent 25 bucks. Alright guys, this is X-Man Vaughn here with how to make a buckler shield. Please leave your comments. I'll leave all the materials in the description. Thanks.